The truth is, the reason he left is not what you think. It's not always because you weren't enough. Today, I'm going to tell you the truth. Not the sugar-coated version your friends gave you. Not the shallow answers the internet throws around. But the real reason he left and why, even now, he still owns real estate in your mind. In fact, it's often something much deeper, something you never saw coming, but the real reason? The one that cuts deeper, the one nobody tells you. And why, even months or years later, you still can't stop thinking about him. Why his face pops into your mind at the most random moments when you're trying to move on, when you're supposed to be happy. Today, I'm going to reveal the truth behind why he walked away, and why your heart keeps holding on, even when your mind knows better. Let's get into the video. Let's start with a hard truth. Most times, they leave for reasons that have nothing to do with you. And sometimes, they leave for reasons that have everything to do with you. But not in the way you think. He didn't leave because you were too emotional, or too much, or too difficult. He left because your depth scared him. Your love was real. It was raw. It was mirror-like. It showed him who he really was, and he couldn't handle the reflection. You see, when a man is confronted with a woman who loves with her soul, it forces him to look at his own emotional limitations. Some men rise to meet that challenge. Others retreat. You gave him your time, your body, your laughter. And silently, deep down, you thought that meant he would stay. That he would choose you. That he would fight for you. But here's the painful truth. People don't always honor what you give. Especially when they never asked for it out loud. You were showing up in ways you thought would prove your worth. But he wasn't measuring love the way you were. He was watching how easy it was for you to forgive. How quickly you excused the red flags. How hard you fought, for both of you. And at some point, he stopped fighting entirely. Because deep down, he knew you'd do it for him. This doesn't mean you were weak. It means you loved hard. You showed up. And that's something to be proud of, even if he couldn't handle it. A man who is not emotionally mature will confuse chaos with passion. He'll crave validation more than commitment. And when you offer him stability, love, and truth, he'll feel exposed, vulnerable, even powerless. So instead of leaning in, he runs. And here's what makes it even worse. He might have loved you, truly. But love, on its own, is never enough. What matters more? His ability to receive love, to sustain it, to honor it. And if he couldn't do that, then his leaving wasn't your failure. It was his awakening, one he refused to answer. Most people will say he left because he didn't love you enough, or he found someone else, or you weren't good enough. But those explanations, they're just the surface. The real reasons are far more complex, and often harder to face. Here's the first truth. He didn't just leave you, he left himself too. Let's clear something up. His leaving wasn't your fault. It's easy to spiral into self-blame, wondering if you did something wrong, if you could have been better. But most times, the reason isn't about you, it's about him. Some men leave because they're scared of commitment. Others because they're running from their own demons, fears, insecurities, past wounds they never healed. I want you to understand this. When he walked away, he was running from himself as much as he was running from the relationship. And here's the hardest truth. Sometimes he leaves not because he doesn't love you, but because he doesn't know how to love himself, or how to love you the way you deserve. Now, let's dive into why your mind keeps playing him on repeat, even when you're trying to move on. Why is it that even after all this time, you still think about him? Why does his voice echo in your mind? His face pop up in your dreams? It's not just nostalgia. It's because your brain is wired to remember what hurt. It's called emotional imprinting. When someone leaves a hole in your heart, your brain obsessively rewinds moments, hoping for a different ending. Every time you think of him, it's like your heart is trying to rewrite the story. Maybe if I had said this, maybe if I had done that. And here's the kicker, memories aren't always honest. Your mind remembers the good and glosses over the bad. You remember his smile but forget the nights you cried. This selective memory keeps the illusion alive. The idea that maybe, just maybe, it wasn't really over. But the truth is, loving someone who left doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. You're not just mourning him. You're mourning you. The version of you that believed love could fix everything. Here's what no one tells you. Closure doesn't come from the person who hurt you. It comes from the person you become after they're gone. You don't need his apology. You don't need his explanation. You don't even need him to admit he was wrong. What you need is to reclaim the parts of yourself you gave away to be loved. The real reason he left was because you outgrew him, even if you didn't know it yet. He left because your light exposed his darkness, because your love requires accountability, and he wasn't ready to be real. And you still think about him, because part of you wonders if loving someone that deeply is safe. Let me remind you, it is. You just have to choose someone who is capable of holding what you offer. If you're still thinking about him, that's okay. Healing is not forgetting. Healing is remembering without hurting. Every love teaches something, even the ones that break us. And yours? It taught you what kind of woman you are. You are the kind of woman who loves past the surface, who shows up even when it's hard, who gives without playing games. That is rare. That is powerful. And that is unforgettable. So let him go. Not because he didn't matter, but because you do. The real reason he left was so you could finally find your way back to yourself. You're stronger than you realize. And this isn't the end of your story, it's just the beginning. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with anyone you know who's hurting. Remember, you are not alone. Thank you for watching. If this spoke to you, share your story in the comments. Let's heal together. I will see you in the next video.